What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
First Reformed movie came out a couple years ago, 2017, written directed by Paul Schrader, starring Ethan Hawke. Religion versus science kind of a movie, but told in a way where, I mean, it's a small independent movie. A24, put out a ton of movies in 2017. A bunch of great movies. A production company. If I look up their catalog, you're going to see a lot of really solid gems that they've come up with. And I heard about this movie had come up a few times in other podcasts that I listened to, and it was on Hulu, I believe, or maybe Amazon, and saw it. There's no movies in theaters, so I thought, let's watch First Reformed. I'm in the mood to watch, a slow, independent drama. This is also categorized as a thriller for some reason. I didn't find it to be. I mean, there is a point. I guess I could see the thriller part now that I kind of instantly look back at one of the things that are present in this movie. But it's Ethan Hawke plays a pastor of kind of a tourist church. So it's upstate New York. It's a small church that, really doesn't have a congregation because there's, the big mega church, the McDonald's of churches, the McDonald's of the Lord is pretty much took all the business as far as the Jesus business. And so the church is more of a historical landmark in the city. Part of it, the church was used in the Underground Railroad at one point. And this movie kind of follows Ethan Hawke, who has a troubling past and then got into religion, as so many people do who have troubled pasts. And he comes across a guy who used to be environmentalist, like an activist, and kind of had a breakdown, I suppose, and trying to get some clarity through talking with the pastor. And he lays on the table. I mean, the issue is that he doesn't want to have kids with his wife, who is pregnant. So, of course, talks to a preacher, whatever. She wants to keep it. He doesn't necessarily not want to have a kid. He's just because he was so close to the environmentalist activist and he knows what's going on with the climate change and what's to come, like the serious real thing that's happening in reality right now, like step out of movie land, like we're fucking up the planet and a lot of people are just kind of ignoring it, including politicians, including like you would think if you are a religious person of any religion that you would want to help maintain one of God's creations, which is the home that we live on. Like that would be something you think, like if like say God built a house, right? And he named it Earth. Some people think it's a flat house. Some people know it's a 3-dimensional house. But he built this house for us. And then he's like, yeah, move in. There's a few rules. Here you go. And all you do is just trash the house in the name of money, by the way. That's what's primarily destroying the earth is capitalism and businesses just blindly just ravaging the planet. So this movie kind of takes, so just imagine throwing a house party every day and fucking up God's house. That's what you're doing. Yet I don't really see, because I don't know if because Christianity's tied very strongly to the Republican side, but they don't seem to be too concerned with that. It's more of other religions that they have beef with, or people that don't believe in their shit. But this movie kind of introduces the fact that it's a real concern. The environment's a real concern to Ethan Hawke, and it starts to, it's a seed that's planted in his head, among other things that are going wrong with Ethan Hawke, in his life. He's kind of on a downward trajectory, and it's him trying to kind of open the eyes in some ways of just being, he's now that he has this idea in his head and he goes to communicate his thoughts to other people, that his other colleagues, let's say, the priests, the other people that are in the business of selling Jesus to you, he gets shut down. He's like, that's bad business, bro. Like, we are in the business of selling people Jesus, okay? And we also, because we have a large group of people, we're like a giant email list. So yeah, we hook up with politicians to make sure we spread their word and make sure our people just do whatever we tell them to do, which is vote for this guy. Like, that's kind of part of the system we're here. Ethan Hawke, what are you doing? Who cares about Lord? If the Lord wanted us to have a good planet, he wouldn't have let us invent these things, Ethan. Why would you come to me with this shit? He'll fix it. Like, let's just keep doing our dirty work for all the politicians and shit, and selling Jesus, and making people feel bad for not donating a certain percentage of their income to the church, because I need to get paid. This building has a giant mortgage on it. Look how giant this shit is. So it's a sad movie. This movie, it's a sad movie. But I enjoy the kind of exposes, a big hypocrisy in Christianity, the mega church, the business of selling Jesus, because churches are just businesses. They're independent businesses in some cases. Sometimes they're giant, like, mega structures of selling Jesus, and the preachers fly around in private jets and live in mansions. It's just a business. They're selling you, they're selling you motivation. They're selling you hope. They're selling you, like, this belief and shit that's, based on an old story, whatever, helps some people, whatever. Some people get really into it, and, extremists in all areas. And Ethan Hawke himself almost becomes an extremist in this movie, which I guess is the most thrilling part of it, that there's this character that plants the seed in his head, ends up taking his own life, and after that, his wife finds a bomb vest, and Ethan Hawke, in his state of depression and not knowing what to do, and kind of thinking of ways to maybe make a statement, there's a moment where he has to decide if he's going to basically become a terrorist. So that is definitely, I guess, a suspenseful moment. But the movie is very slow paced. It's very slow burn, and it's such a slow burn. By the time it gets to that, it's like, I almost wish he does do it, just because it would make it would at least the spike of adrenaline in this movie would get to a point. But maybe he does. Maybe I don't want to spoil everything. But it's a crazy movie. I mean, if you're curious, if you're into watching movies, independent film, drama, slow movie, it's a slow-paced movie. But if it's, maybe sounds interesting, for sure I'd check it out. Not interesting. Paul Schrader is the director, writer. He wrote like Taxi Driver. He wrote like crazy movies. But this is, it's not as strong. I mean, I think he works well if Tarantino or Scorsese directs his shit. But go check it out. First Reformed. I found it to be interesting. I'm good. I don't need to watch it again, but I'm glad I watched it and saw what was up. That's it for this episode. New episodes of this show, The Ray Taylor Show, come out daily. Subscribe on IGTV and everywhere else podcasts are found. You can binge the full week in advance over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Inspireddisorder.com for all of my artwork. Go buy original artwork by me at Ray Taylor on all social media. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out.